To start this stream off, I did go see Supergirl yesterday, and I'm gonna just say it, but Supergirl's fine. It's like a 6.57 out of 10. I am seeing a lot of people's takes on Supergirl. I'm seeing a lot of people just absolutely destroy the film, and I'm seeing a lot of people being like, no, it's the best thing ever. And my thing is, this is a film that is just okay. So the film is mid. No, here's the thing I hate, okay? Most things that you guys watch, you have a recency bias. And what I mean by that is, instead of comparing things holistically, it's just, well, what was the last thing you saw? How does this compare to the last thing? And my takeaway has always been, you have to look at things within the genre, within the scope that it finds itself in. Someone asked me on Twitter, like, oh, what would be your 7 out of 10 comparison? I'm like, it's like Aquaman to me. And I'm like, and for superhero film, a 10 out of 10 for me and superheroes is like Captain America Winter Soldier. Like, I wouldn't compare like Oppenheimer to this, right? And I don't think you would compare like your favorite Spider-Man movie to like Oppenheimer, or even like Barbie. Those are like completely different reasons you watch those films. I think a lot of what gets missed, ironically also in like sports conversation, is people aren't taking into perspective like what it's going up against. Like, is Toy Story one of the greatest films of all time? Probably not. One of the greatest animated films of all time? Yeah, right? So with that context, and this is for someone who's seen a lot of fucking awful movies on purpose. I have watched Catwoman multiple times with no one forcing me to do this. I seek out these films. I think I have a pretty good taste of what a truly bad film. When I say something's like 6.57 out of 10, it's an inoffensive film. Like, yeah, there are some weak parts of this film, of course. The best parts of this film is Millie as a Supergirl and a couple of cameos. And I think like the flashbacks were done pretty well, but everything else is kind of middling. So I balance it out, but I've seen so much worse. This is no different than watching like Aquaman for me, honestly. Like, is this better than the Batman or Superman? In my eyes, no. But it's compared to, I'm just only 3 films out. One film really under the James Gunn universe, but comparatively, people are talking about, oh, this is like as bad as Thor: The Dark World. I'm like, no. Are you kidding? I don't understand what people's expectation of this film was, outside of, if it's a Supergirl film, it has to sell $1 billion or everyone hates it. And I'm like, your expectations were fucking insane. Like, I didn't come in here expecting like Citizen Kane, right? And like I said, I do think some choices were bad. Some of the editing was very, very, very quick. And some of the dialogue was a little bit too exposition-y. But I can say that about 100 other films, which is why I'm saying this is average. This is nothing like to write home about. Put it this way. If you see people online saying this movie is worse than Morbius or Madam Web, they are not being serious people. You shouldn't take their review seriously if they think this is on Morbius or Madam Web level. I've seen some people talk just like completely rip the film to shreds. I'm like, you could say that same about like the movies you guys say are like fine or whatever. I'm not saying rush out to watch this in theaters, you must see it, but if it's like, yeah, nothing to do, yeah, it's whatever. I think had they focused a bit more on Kara's backstory and less on this revenge plot, it would have been a lot better. I know this is based off of the Woman of Tomorrow storyline from like 2022. The visuals of this film, very lackluster. There's not much variety in terms of color grading or palette. It's for a movie that takes place in space, it doesn't feel like it's a romp. Like, it's like you miss out on certain parts. Like, she's supposed to be going on this like, I'm 23 years old, I'm going on a bender, but you don't really get the sense of the bender she's gone on. It's more like after the fact, like you just missed it. And I think they could have really capitalized on that first, and then we would have saw the natural evolution of her being like more heroic and whatever. There was some fun shit too. Like, I did like Lobo in it. I did like the fact that, you know, Kara is taking down effectively a pedophile ring. I did like the fact that she is different than Clark for sure. They don't really try to make her like a carbon copy of Clark, but they don't also do things to like diminish Clark as a character, because you know there's gonna be some people. I see the donation by the way, I'll get to that. You know there's gonna be some people who are like, they're trying to make her stronger and better. It's like, no. Different stakes, completely different. I do wish the villain wasn't so one note, but I know sometimes they do that when they want to focus more on like the character, but then the character wasn't too focused on it for my liking. So I wish they would have had a villain that was a little bit more meaty. And I feel kind of bad for the 14-year-old girl who plays Evie, because her character really felt like they really dropped the ball with her character. Yeah, she was kind of just there. But yeah, this movie's like whatever film. There are so many movies, especially, and I cannot not say this. We have gotten so many films with dudes starring in it that are like 7 out of 10 action films, which is why I don't know why people acting like this one is like an aberration. People are already trying to say like James Gunn, you know, failed. His universe is awful. I'm like, after 2 films? That's crazy. A lot of it is coming from the Schneider Bros, which I'm like, that's hilarious, because if you want to talk about the universes, that shit was off from the beginning with Zack Snyder's. But I have faith in James Gunn. I do think, though, they're probably going to hit the panic button a little bit, and they're probably going to speed up certain characters. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if next 2 years we see like rumblings of a Wonder Woman or Batman film. I think the film lack of color from the comic book and Supergirl based off of, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it definitely, like, I think if James Gunn actually directed this film, because this is not James Gunn's film or screenplay, by the way, it's Craig like Giuseppe's direction, and it's Anna Nogueira's screenplay, but it's under James Gunn's umbrella, so people will give him the blame, but he's did not direct this movie. I think we are still good. Like, we're still good. Everyone like needs to take a breath. I know, because it's Supergirl is like the second DCU film, and people legitimately don't like women, and that's been made blatantly clear from the press prior to this film release and all that shit. So they really need this film to fail. I already know there's a bunch of grifters. I know Critical Drinker and Neurotic and all those guys are gonna be like, this movie is fucking awful. It's gonna ruin it. Zack Snyder should come back and yada whatever. But honestly, again, don't take those people seriously. They're not really good critics at all. They're the same people, by the way, who also said that Superman was a flop, and now they're all pining for Superman. I'm like, so they're not consistent people. That's my opinion on Supergirl. It's fine, it's whatever. I wouldn't go like watch it again in theaters, but if it's on like streaming service on HBO Plus, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Someone asked about Wonder Woman. Here's what I think was happening here, okay? And this might be like me being a crackpot, whatever. Here's what I think is happening here. James Gunn knows at any given moment he can pull out Batman and pull out Wonder Woman. And I think what he's trying to do is to get other characters and get audiences invested in other characters prior to that, because those 2 characters are going to overshadow everyone. Like, look what happened with the Zack Snyder universe. He rushed it so hard that the second film in his universe, right, was Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman with the Flash cameo. Everyone was in it. Everyone's in it. They're all in it, right? It's like, that's the second movie. And then he did solo films with people like after the fact. That's too quick. He knows that Batman will get a draw no matter what. Yeah, and also Doomsday was there. He knows that Batman will get a draw no matter what. So like, you can wait a year or 2 to put Batman in your film. That's fine, right? So get people invested. But yet the MCU took their time. Yeah, well, the MCU was forced to, because they had the rights to like basically no one big. So they had to build up their characters. But now Iron Man and Captain America are more popular than they've ever been. But they would have started off with Spider-Man, you know what I mean? But I think DC starting for Superman is foundational. You have to start for Superman. I think starting off with any other character would have been wrong. However, I also know that doing the same shit again and again and again and again is boring. It is boring. And I'm like, we have to let it play out. Like, people are acting as if they need to burn it all down. I'm like, dog, it's been 2 films. And prior to yesterday, it's been 1 film. Like, relax. The DC is doing fine. Again, Absolute Batman's probably going to break fucking records digitally again like it did with the comics. They reprinted all of them. You don't do that. I think all of the Absolute universe is actually going to be a banger. They won't make those into movies because it's too different already, but they could absolutely make an Absolute universe, like TV universe and all that shit, which they should do. I'm actually more worried for Marvel than I am for DC at this point. I think Marvel's most successful run so far in comics was the Ultimate Universe, and they're ending it. And I was actually talking to my friend about this yesterday. The fact that the Marvel films are doing Avengers Doomsday this year, to me, is insane. Like, to me, that shows no vision, no trust in your vision.